It's episode 346 of The Platformers, a show about games and nerd culture, and I'm your host, Brian Barnett, and the moon haunts you.
Moon's haunted. I am the one who continues when one podcaster falls, Chris Corley.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. I like it.
I was going to do it in French, but I didn't have time to look it up.
It's a shame. But yeah, very, very good. You're the Daredevil to my Robert Pattinson.
That's the one.
Yeah.
It really is uncanny how similar they kind of look in that regard.
It's pretty ridiculous. But anyways, we got a lot to talk about this week.
Yeah, we'll cover that in a sec.
We have not been around for a couple of weeks because I had a major life event happen 4 weeks early, or 3 to 4 weeks early, which is I now have 2 children, if you can believe it.
Once again, congratulations. Big congrats.
Thank you.
All doing well with child and mother, I assume?
Yes, they are doing very, very well. It is pretty crazy how well my 5-year-old has like taken to the newborn, and it's just like perfectly all fit together. It's really, really great. So that's
awesome.
It's been very, very fun. And like, it's actually not been hardly disruptive to our like routine at all, which is wild to think about.
Yeah, that's really wild, but like, hey, more power.
Yeah. So we're just chilling. Audrey's chilling in the bed, feeding the baby, and I'm just taking care of business. I'm not working that much, which is partially because of that, partially because of the fact that I've been sick, and partially because of something else that we'll mention after this. But yeah, it's been pretty wild. So
yeah. Well, I was gearing up to do last week's podcast, and then it was like about 12 hours beforehand. It's like then the message on Blue Sky came up, and then got passed around the Discord. So I'm just like, so I'm guessing then you're not going to do the podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
Despite Lucas's suggestion of bring the baby on the podcast.
Yeah, get the baby on the podcast. Early. Start him early. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Yeah, that was a good one. Shout out to Lucas.
I was literally still in the hospital. Like we were still at the hospital staying over.
Yeah.
But yeah. This was, it was a very quick birth, but everybody is super healthy, super chill. She's basically in just the potato phase of life where you just, eat, sleep, and just that's kind of it. Yeah, very, very easy, very fun. She's adorable. Everybody comments. So this is the thing that you watch the old Seinfeld episode where they go to, they go up to the Hamptons and they see the baby, and the baby is really ugly. And like every parent thinks that their child is beautiful, but like there is a scale, there's like a sliding
scale. There is definitely a scale. Yeah.
My baby is beautiful. And if you think I'm biased, I would show you a picture, because every single person I've talked to is like, I think babies usually look kind of weird, but this baby is beautiful. It's like, well, my wife and I make very beautiful babies. So
naturally
it is true. It is true. Also, there's a very sweet picture of like my wife sitting in the hospital bed, leaning up over my daughter who's holding my new daughter. And it's just chef kiss. It's really adorable. Also, my daughter, this is one of the sweetest things that just like broke my heart with excellence. My daughter was holding the newborn and then like gently kissed her on the cheek and then looked up at me and said, I'm kissing her so that she'll know that she's safe with us. And I was just like, oh my God. Oh my God. My heart grew 3 sizes that day. It's pretty crazy.
You're already in the hospital because cardiac arrest set in moments later.
Yes. It's just, it's incredible. It's really incredible. And Riley went to like a tea party or something. It's like a grown up and kids like tea party. And they asked her like what slice of cake she wanted, or it was something like that. And she was like, I want the green one because that's my favorite. And then I guess just making conversation, one of her aunts was like, well, what if Nora wanted the green one? And then Riley said, well, then I would give it to her because she's my sister and I would do anything for my sister. And I was just like, oh,
Oh, that is painful.
yes.
That is painfully cute.
Painfully wholesome. That's great. Anyways, I recommend the Platformers podcast endorses having children and raising them well, I suppose.
That's the important caveat there. Is don't
Yeah.
just have children for the sake of children, please.
Many people
Do
have
not.
children and are not good at being parents. But if you have it in you to be a good parent, I highly recommend having children because let me tell you, that shit is so wholesome. It's great. It's especially now, it's also unexpectedly wholesome when they do something totally out of pocket. Like when my wife was like repairing one of the doors and my daughter Riley was like, Mom, can I help you? She's like, sure. And then she grabbed like a hammer and like hit it on one of the hinges and then said, fucking damn it. And my wife was like, yep. I guess I deserve that. Because that's what I say when I get frustrated. I was like, yeah, it is. And she was like 3 years old at the time. It was amazing. Anyways.
Yep. They got to learn it from somewhere.
That's true. That's very, very true. Anyways, there are also some other updates that we should get into.
Yes.
Including one that we have been alluding to for quite some time.
Months.
Months, which is that myself and Will and also Lucas have launched an independent worker-owned video games criticism website. It is called Skybox, and you can check it out at skyboxcritics.com. You can also check it out at skyboxcritics.bluesky.social, although we will be getting like at skyboxcritics.com very soon. I'm actually sorting that out in the back end. But yeah, and it's been received very well.
Surprisingly, not surprisingly.
Yeah.
But like I saw the numbers.
I think
like,
surprisingly, yes. I think surprisingly. Like I created
I haven't seen all the numbers. I'm not in the back end, but like looking at the Blue Sky, I'm like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Nice.
I made the Blue Sky account and then within 24 hours, I think it had like 1.1K followers, which is like ridiculous.
Yeah, I was not expecting that to go off so quickly. And like
I was not either. And we've also been talking behind the scenes with a lot of writers who are very interested in writing and having stuff published on there. So, and so far, like the reception has been really good. We're going to have more details on that this week, but you can check that out. And you can also check out the first 2 episodes of my podcast series called Beyond the Skybox, where I have people right now. The 2 people that I've had on so far are Chris and Lucas to talk about some pieces that they wrote about Balatro and Star Ocean, respectively.
Because of course I wrote about Balatro.
Because of course you wrote about Balatro. And you also, since then, you've also written a piece about Like a Dragon, which is also up and has been received well. There's a really, really, really cool piece by Thomas Wilde going up tomorrow about not game preservation, but like basically the title of the piece is Play Something New While You Still Can. And it's a really good piece. I highly recommend people check it out. That's going up at noon tomorrow.
It's written by Thomas, friend of the show. So,
yes.
It's
going to be
time.
good. Yeah. Yeah. Thomas is great.
Like, as a complete aside, just anytime I see like a paragraph sized post in a Discord that I'm in with Thomas, I just kind of take a moment to ready myself. Like, this is going to be good. Here we go. Yeah. And it is.
Yeah.
Every
it's
time.
Always good.
Dude
it's
is
always
fantastic
good.
writer.
Yes. Thomas is really great. He's very evocative. And this piece really is representative of a lot of what we believe in at Skybox. Basically the pitch for Skybox is that there are a lot of games or other topics or op-eds or whatever that will not get greenlit at other sites. and we wanted to create a place for those pieces to live. This is an outlet for passion pieces and things like that. So
the stuff that the writers want to write about. Simple as that.
Yeah. But won't get greenlit at other places because it won't drive clicks or it won't generate a lot of ad revenue or whatever. And I think that needs to, I think that paying attention to ad revenue and viewer statistics and stuff does a disservice to the industry and the art form. And so we are doing our best to swim upstream, as it were. So that is what Skybox is about. And so please check it out.
And
it's skyboxcritics.com.
Yeah, and it comes at a very crucial time because, like, just anyone who has been in this industry, the games media industry, has just been watching it just, consume itself over the last few years. And not in positive ways, not in clever ways, just in corporate ways, every time. And at the set date of release of Skybox, a very, very highly esteemed website of Polygon was purchased by Valnet. Yep. And then pretty much immediately, the vast majority of the staff were laid off, axed, project shut down instantly. And there was very nearly a consideration to not launch the site on that day out of respect and consideration. But then you guys, quickly reconvened and like, no, this is the time.
Yeah. This was a discussion between Will and Lucas and myself. And I will not out who was on what side, but I am definitely glad that we made the decision that we did as a group. So I guess I will just leave it at that.
I think as somebody who is, a contributor, but on the outside of the editing team per se, like I've known about this project forever. And obviously multiple pieces of mine had been written beforehand and are going up over time now that it's up. And I've just been kind of, I've been annoyingly pushy about getting the program launched.
Which is good.
In the past.
Yeah.
But because I wanted to see it succeed. I think this is necessary. And so, yeah. But yes, I was pushing for that on the side and watched it all kind of, blossom. And it really picked up, like, there were 10 of us in the Discord but prior to the launch, and then pretty much, tripled, quadrupled in member count pretty much immediately of people going, I would like to contribute. Yeah. That's that's what we want. That's why it needed to launch at some point, just so, you build it, they will come. But I am firmly on the side of, what happened to Polygon was a tragedy, and it is very good that you did what you did at the day. Yeah. So.
Yeah, we have been really upset about this for a long time, but it takes a lot of work to get something this big moving, even though compared to actually big sites, like Skybox is very small, and it will probably always be that way. But it takes a lot to get a domain, to build a website, to get people interested in contributing and getting something off the ground when you don't really have Scratch. And then, getting assets and then getting all this other stuff. It takes a lot, and it takes even more when all of those people work in an industry where you have to hustle to make money. And there's also other stuff going on in your lives. You may potentially have multiple jobs. It's just a lot. So I'm really pleased that we were able to finally get it up off the ground and have it be able to put this stuff in front of people's eyes and have the reception be so warm, especially amongst our colleagues, which is, I feel like you said, we all know that this is what needs to happen. We all know that worker owned is the only way that this industry really can weather this investment heavy storm. But actually
1,000%.
But actually making that happen is really hard. So
there's a reason I haven't done it. I have, more time, and, I could have, I did consider after the DualShockers fiasco, which was similar story to, all that and similar players, funnily enough. But after that, I turned to my own website, versusthebacklog.com. You can check that out. And I very much considered just like, should I bring more people on this? Should I try and make it something bigger? And I ultimately didn't, just because I don't have the technical know-how, the skills, anything like that, nor really the inclination to like learn it and manage it and do all that headache and stuff. It is a lot of work. So shout out to you guys for actually doing it. And that is why, I may not be in the back end per se, but I am more than happy to just contribute and like throw as many pieces as I can muster at it. So
Yeah.
here's hoping.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So thanks to everybody who's been supporting it. And yeah, check it out. Skyboxcritics.com. I spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on launch day fixing stuff in the back end because I basically had to learn how to site design like for this. So anyways, it's not perfect.
Yeah, it's
but it works.
You learn on the fly because you have to.
Yeah.
It's like, are you a plumber? No. Is shit overflowing out of your toilet? You're going to learn very quickly.
Yes, it must be done. Somebody had to do it, and I was the one who could do it, so I did it. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, we're really excited. Let's get talking about some games.
The video games, then.
Where do we want to start, Chris? We've got a lot of stuff that we've been talking about. Shall we talk about? Let's talk about the oldest thing first.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Tempest Rising.
Yeah, because we alluded to this in the last episode, and I touched on it very, very briefly. But
yes.
Yeah, let's talk.
Yeah.
How far have you gotten in Tempest Rising, and what have you played of it, and what is it for the general audience?
So Tempest Rising is a game that I previewed for IGN. It is a real-time strategy game, very much in the vein of Command and Conquer. In fact, on this very show in the past, Chris and myself and Will have basically said, well, I guess just you and me, because I think Will only played the preview build, but it is basically Call of Duty 4. And
Call of Duty 4?
Or not really? Call of Duty 4, sorry, Command and Conquer 4. Can you tell that I just had a child and I'm tired? No, it is not Call of Duty 4. It is Command and Conquer. Call of Duty 4 is Modern Warfare, isn't it?
Yep, that is Modern Warfare.
So it's not Modern Warfare. It is not the revolution that Modern Warfare was, but it is not
to be confused with Call of Duty 19, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of 6 Modern Warfare.
Modern Warfare 6, Black Ops 2, Advanced Warfare 3, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is basically Command and Conquer 4. The
actual Command and Conquer 4.
The Command and Conquer 4 we deserved, but not the one we got,
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have played, I believe I have played like a little bit more than half of the GDF and Tempest Dynasty campaigns, but I'm not finished with either of them because I just was kind of like bouncing back and forth just because I wanted to experience like the progression as it was going. And I like it.
Yeah.
Like I one of the interesting things about it, which they talked about during the like preview event, was how proud they were of the AI. The AI is very good in this game. Like they definitely keep me on the back foot all the time. Like when you're building a base and you're in the middle of like one of the maps from, I guess, even like as early as like a third of the way through the campaign and on, like they are constantly attacking you in waves to like, you are going to have to expend your units or build really efficiently or get really good counters for like what's attacking you and these sorts of things. I found that to be like probably the most compelling part of the game. Just for me
they make
personally.
You work for it.
Yeah. And I was just playing on like the standard difficulty. So I can't imagine what it's like on the harder ones. Like you really probably have to be ridiculous.
So I did watch a playthrough of that. Shout out to Giant Grant Games, who does a lot of RTS content, specifically usually StarCraft 2, but he did full playthroughs of the Tempest Rising campaigns on the highest difficulty, Insane. And it's funny which missions are the hardest in that one compared to how it felt like to me. Because like the hardest mission in the game is something like the 4th GDF mission. Like by far that thing is just brutal. So it's But yeah, just the AI is very good. They managed to throw some pretty powerful curveballs at you, keep you on your toes, and it's just yeah. And frankly, that is those campaigns are just really good.
Yeah.
Like I think they're 11 missions each, which isn't a huge amount overall, but each of those missions is varied. There's rarely just one where it's like, here is your straight up objective, like, build base, destroy enemy base or whatever.
Yeah.
There's always a couple of wrinkles. There'll usually be a couple of different stages to it, like, an advancing front or whatever, or different curveballs will come in, or bonus objectives will pop up. And it's like, for what they are pretty well designed, pretty full on, pretty varied, and just overall, it's really good campaigns.
Yeah.
Set of campaigns, honestly.
Yeah. From where
So
I'm
I
at
had a lot of fun with it.
from where I'm at, like the story didn't really do a lot for me. It feels very like kind of not placeholder. It comes across as harsh. I would say like unremarkable or like very uh
Functional is
yeah,
how I would put it.
it serviceable. It works. There's nothing really wrong with it, but it also doesn't stand out in the way that like the StarCraft campaign does. But also like other than Kane, the Command and Conquer campaigns don't really do anything either. So that kind of like it kind of makes sense to me. But yeah, where I really feel like this game stands out is in the kind of mechanical diversity of what they're asking you to do. So like one of
Mhm.
my favorite missions, which was like the hardest mission for me, uh, was one of the GDF missions where you're doing like you're attacking convoys, but the convoys come from unlike in like Command and Conquer or StarCraft, where like the convoys would be coming along one line and it would just be like three convoys like in a row and you would have prep time in between. This map, the convoys are coming from all kinds of different directions. And so you have to build out your base, keep building up your forces because you are constantly being like hit with wave after wave of enemies while you have to go out, attack, and conquer enemy bases to get yourself in a position where you can even attack the convoys. Like,
Mhm.
I was like, this is great. There was another one where it was like, all right, you're being attacked from this other angle. You have to expand out. You have to destroy these like kind of SAM sites, like anti-air rocket gun emplacements, and then you have to load up a bunch of your helicopters and then cart all of your people over to this like upper ledge and then fight a really hard fight through that area to get to the extraction point.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that's insane on insane. So
It's
yeah,
really difficult. That was the first
it's
one where I was
tough.
like,
Yeah.
holy crap, dude. This difficulty is ramping up even on regular. Um yeah.
Thankfully, it's not a ramp; it's a spike. It's
Yeah.
there are difficult missions in the rest of the campaign, but that one was definitely like, oof.
Yeah, I don't remember where I posted this, but I think I posted it in one of the discords where I was like, so I just hit the difficulty spike in Tempest Rising. That was the mission I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's
Makes
really
sense.
good.
So
It's really good. I highly recommend it. Everything I said before is still true. It's still really good. It still runs super well. So I don't recommend playing it on controller. But I play on my
yeah, no, God no.
I play on my Steam Deck with like a little like side monitor with a mouse and keyboard. It runs perfectly on Steam Deck. So like it's still a really fun thing to do like little skirmishes on or go through the missions even when you're like, playing on that. Uh and lest I become a caricature of myself, I will stop talking about Steam Deck right now until later. But yeah, I really like it. I'm curious like
Yeah.
if you have any other final thoughts now that you've beaten the whole campaign, since you're a bit ahead of me.
So I will say that the feeling about the story being largely serviceable continues throughout. There are a couple more wrinkles that get added, but overall, like, and I even went back and tested. I replayed the Command and Conquer Remastered just to contrast, particularly
Yeah,
the first game, and yeah, so a lot of there is a little more to it here, mainly because you get to ask questions Like in
Yes.
between each of the briefings, you get to ask questions.
Yeah, which I like.
And these are purely optional, but it adds to the world building, gives you a little bit more flavor to these characters and to
You can even
these
skip the briefings if you want
scenarios.
to.
Yeah, and you can skip them entirely, so that's cool. But yeah, so there's little bits and pieces of world building and stuff going on, and obviously there is a big event that happens a bit later on in the plot, and I do like the way that the two campaigns are kind of interwoven. They happen at the same time, but they aren't. They basically never interact. So there is only a very, very brief moment where the two campaigns interact, and it's like for a passing shot at like the end of a mission. And then otherwise, you're doing different things while the same events are going on and on different fronts. So I kind of like that. Um, yeah, I like a lot of what is set up here, but it does feel very, very groundwork, very foundational. There is a lot more I would like to see built up here. And in absolute fairness, that's exactly what happened with Command and Conquer 1. Like, Tiberian Sun expanded that lore and setting and everything a lot more. There wasn't a hell of a lot going on in the first game aside from one, Tiberium. Tiberium is fucking cool. And that's why, they did a similar thing with Tempest. It's like, here is this weird resource that people are fighting over that is super lucrative, and also it has weird connotations and everything, and that ties into the plot.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is definitely the analog. And then two, Kane. You have the ever charismatic Joe Kukin doing his chewing the scenery immensely, and absolute highlight of those games as well. But the by and large, it's fairly straightforward in the first game, and then second game ramps it up a bit.
Yeah.
So I imagine like I would like to see more of Tempest Rising. I want to see like an expansion pack or something like that. And they have already alluded to no timeline or roadmap or anything. They have already alluded to the fact that more will be coming, more will be added to it, whether that's free or paid or whatever. Don't know. We'll find out. But I am very much keen to see it.
I believe when I was talking to them, they said that they were going to support the game for at least a year.
I will say that on the Steam page right now, it says that there are, in fact, 2 factions currently in the game with a third on the way. And I can confirm that that third is present in the campaign, and I really want to play them because they seem super interesting. They're very fleshed out even in the campaign, but they're obviously just not quite ready, not quite balanced for player use. So interesting stuff, and I want to see more of that. And because that's where things start to get really interesting and compelling, and I want more. This is a good foundation, and I really want more. But what's here is good and super fun, and the best Command and Conquer adjacent game we've had since like the aughts. So
yep. Yeah, there's a lot of imitators. This is the first one that I feel really actually captures what is good about those games.
Yeah, it gets it. And that's why, I dub it the Command and Conquer 4 we should have gotten.
Yeah.
It is the true Command and Conquer 4.
Yep.
But it is also Tempest Rising, most crucially.
Yeah, it's very, very good. Cool. Well, that's that. I recommend that people check that out. Chris, what do you want to tackle next?
Let me just look at my list of games here. Before I get into the big topic item, Star Vaders. Did you end up playing this after I gushed about it in the past?
Let me see.
So for context, this is Star Vaders is a game that I happened to find just on a whim, just browsing one of the Steam Next Fests sometime last year. And of all the games, because more often than not when these come up, I will just, browse over, look at them, add a game or two, or sometimes many demos, and just kind of go wild and see what's coming up, what's cool, what gets added to wishlist or whatever. When I played Star Vaders, it was so goddamn good, it shoved out a bunch of other demos that I was interested in playing just because I wanted to play more Star Vaders. So I have rarely hit wishlist so fast on something after playing a demo like that. And so the moment I saw it got the full release about a few weeks ago, the moment I saw that pop up in my email, I'm like, yep, cool, done, purchase, play immediately. No hesitation. 100% worth it. 100% worth it. Game is excellent.
I feel like I played this on the demo. Hold on.
Because I know I did come on to a podcast episode in the past around that time and gush about it then. And you were like, all right, I'll download it or wishlist it or whatever. And
Yeah, I
I just
feel
don't know
like
if you ever actually got
I
around
feel
to it.
like I feel like I played it. I feel like I liked it, but it didn't bump anything for me.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, this hit me right in the Slay the Spire. So to put it simply, it is similar kind of, roguelike deck builder. But
Oh yeah.
the
I did play this. Yeah.
but the wrinkle is that it's what if Space Invaders was a roguelike deck builder. So in addition to the actual deck building and combat and stuff, you are on a grid and you have a mecha, and you have to position yourself because, for example, the base character mecha thing, whatever. It's like most of their cards are just like move and shoot a bullet straight up, whatever column they're in. And then every turn, the invaders will come down a row. And if they reach the bottom 3 rows, they will start channeling Doom, which means, that you then have that turn to stop them. If you don't stop them, your Doom gauge fills up. If that maxes out, runs over. Fair enough. But so it's that kind of concept mixed with aspects of like Into the Breach with perfect information. You can see everything that's coming. A lot of the invaders will start, adding extra wrinkles. They'll get shields, so you have to hit them twice. They will start doing attacks, which many of them are telegraphed attacks. So if you move right the hell up to them, and they'll start AoEing down themselves. You just move out and they'll destroy a bunch of their numbers. That's great. But lots of interesting wrinkles in how the formula goes, and it continues to expand and evolve as you get deeper in. And the initial low difficulty run is pretty straightforward. But then every time you complete a run or finish a run for a while, it will then go, okay, cool, new invaders unlocked, new bosses unlocked, new difficult modifiers and scenarios added, new cards and new classes and new pilots that modify those classes. And there's quite a lot to it. And I had a great time with this. Like, playing simply in the demo, they gave you like two two of the mecha classes and then a couple of pilots for each. Here in the overall game, there are 3 different mecha classes and 10 pilots across all of them. And each of them have different base loadout, different mechanics, different concepts, and usually a few unique cards in addition to the class cards. So, and each of them is like wildly different. So the first one is very, you have a heat gauge, it builds up, you can overheat, and most of your stuff is just bullets, bullets, bullets. But the second mecha is more about faster movement, higher movement, and melee attacks, combos, and throwing cards in order to create like traps on the ground that will destroy things when they step over them. And then the last one is wildly different because you don't even have a mecha. You summon a whole bunch of little minions yourself, and then you just happen to haunt one of them, which is your mecha for the purposes of various cards and such. And it's wild, and the level of complexity and different options you get is really compelling. And I've had so much fun with this. This has been one of my go-to games ever since it came out. So yeah. I did not hear a thing you said. I think you're muted.
Yeah, that's great. It's really fun.
Yeah. So highly recommend this one. It's comparatively short compared to something like Slay the Spire, and I mean that not just in terms of like overall hour count, but also just the runs themselves tend to go very quickly.
I don't think it has a
So
demo anymore. It did
it
though.
might not. It definitely did. I will take a look now when we talk
Yeah,
about it.
I don't see one on Steam. But yeah, it is good.
Does
It is
not
fun.
look like it is there. Yeah, no longer has a demo, which is a shame. However, it is reasonably cheap. I think it's like 20-ish US.
Yeah, it's $25 on sale now for 22.5. And the reviews are overwhelmingly positive.
Yep. And you can tell that this game is kind of low key because the featured news that they put out a couple of days ago was not number of sales or anything like that. It was they were happy that they hit 500 reviews on Steam and were still overwhelmingly positive. That's the kind of low key, under the radar kind of game this is. And so this is why I want to shout it out because, again, I saw this thing on Steam Next Fest.
And I was going to say now it has over 1,000 reviews and it's overwhelmingly positive.
And it's still overwhelmingly positive. Yes. That's this is the kind of thing I really love to shout out because, again, this is what Steam Next Fest should be. You browse, you find stuff that really, hits all the buttons for you, and then you manage to, get your eyes on it when otherwise this would have just fallen under the wayside. Like, people are paying attention to, upcoming Monster Train 2 or Slay the Spire 2, but no one's really looking for this, which kind of falls in the same thing and same category.
Yeah.
So it's great. I highly recommend it.
It's fun.
I will hopefully have a review of it coming soon to Skybox near you. I can say that now.
Hey, we can say where stuff is going. We don't have to just allude to it. It's great.
Yeah, I've been alluding to it for a long time that I've been writing stuff and it doesn't go on my website, and that's where it's going.
That's where it's going. I love it. Fantastic. Cool.
That's Starvaders. Check it out.
That is Starvaders. So another thing. Let me see, what time is it? 3, 6. Yeah. So I have been, and it's really a shame. So Lucas and Will are just getting back from PAX, but they're not ready to be on the show yet, which is a real shame because Will and I played a bunch of Capcom Fighting Collection 2.
Hell yeah.
And it's really, really fun. I can only give you my preview thoughts, so I can't give you my full review just yet. But I gotta say, like, what I have played of it, it is super, super fun. There's a bunch of games in there, including like Capcom vs. SNK 1, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Power Stone 1, Power Stone 2. Will and I played through all of Power Stone 2 together, which was really, really fun. I played basically the Goku stand-in, and once you collect all of the Power Stones, he can basically shoot like beams and then do like a giant spirit bomb and blow people up. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's really, really fun.
Coming soon to a Dragon Ball FighterZ near you.
Yes, basically.
Because we need more Gokus.
I think his name is like Wang Tang or something ridiculous like that. But yeah, he's just like a martial artist, and then he powers up and gets all golden, and then just, it's very legally distinct Super Saiyan.
We have Goku at home, yeah.
We have Goku at home, yes. But yeah, it's really, really fun. I mean, like Capcom Fighting Collection 1, which I played, which has so many great things, like the Marvel vs. Capcom. Actually, is that the Marvel vs. Capcom collection? Capcom Fighting Collection 1, I think. Capcom Fighting Collection 1. That is the one that has all the Marvel things in it, right? Hold on.
I think so. That would be the one you spoke about not that long ago.
Capcom Fighting Collection 1. Oh, no, it isn't. No, that was the Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection. Capcom Fighting Collection 1 is Darkstalkers, Night Warriors, Cyberbots, Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, Red Earth, Vampire Savior, Super Gem Fighter, Mini Mix, Vampire Hunter 2, Vampire Savior 2, and Hyper Street Fighter 2.
So basically all their different fighting games that aren't a versus or aren't their, flagship series.
Yes. The one that I was talking about is Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, which has The Punisher, X-Men Children of the Atom, Marvel Superheroes, X-Men vs. Street Fighter, Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, MVC 1, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Yes, so those are all the ones in there. And then Capcom Fighting Collection 2 is Show me all the games. Capcom vs. SNK, Capcom vs. SNK 2, Capcom Fighting Evolution, Street Fighter Alpha 3 Upper, Power Stone, Power Stone 2, Project Justice, and Plasma Sword Nightmare of Bilstein. So I've played all of those games in the in the build that I have. They're all really, really fun. I highly recommend it. It's great being able to have access to like these kinds of beautiful games. It is also wild to play a game where I can have like Akuma and Mai on the same team and just like go ham on people. It feels really good. So, yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. It happened before it happened in Street Fighter 6. Who knew?
Yes, believe it or not. Believe it or not. But yeah, so I recommend people check out Capcom Fighting Collection 2. Let me see. It comes out on the 16th, so it comes out in 4 days. And
I wonder if they'll ever do one which has Capcom versus Tatsunoko, which is one I played a little bit of.
That was a cool game. I imagine it's probably coming. Like, they're probably just going to keep doing these Capcom Fighting Collections until they get everything out. I imagine.
Yeah.
Which I like. The only bummer about that sort of a thing is that I know that some people are not a big fan of like I feel like it's like the Street Fighter collection or something, because Third Strike doesn't have, I don't know if it has rollback.
Right.
Or it might have rollback, but it's version. Not. Yeah, yeah, it's not great. And then some versions of games I think are not like which version they decide to use is like kind of unclear on some of these. But yeah. If you like these sorts of games, like, I mean, come on. I'm fully expecting that when they come out, it's gonna be a great time. And like, obviously from a preservation standpoint, like I love seeing these things because like I had never played Power Stone 2 until this. Like I'd never played Power Stone like at all. And so having the CVS games out, which I'd also never played, like this has just made it so that people can just play these games, ostensibly in perpetuity, which I love. Yeah. And that's
something
really,
that's
really
very good and very important, and we're all about.
Yes.
Shout out to GOG.com, which tends to do that and has been increasingly doing that recently, to the point where they released, of all things, Breath of Fire 4 for PC, which was previously a PS1 exclusive. Maybe on PSP port, I'm not sure. But I fucking love that game. So the moment I saw that, I'm like, wait, what? You put this on PC? I'm buying this in the spot. And I did. And it's great because Breath of Fire 4 rules. Very underappreciated game. And I would love for Capcom to go back to the Breath of Fire series. But they really shouldn't have left off where they did.
Yeah.
Looking at you, mobile game.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. Sounds good. Good old Capcom Fighting Collection.
It is.
Fighting games good.
Fighting games are good. What else are we going to talk about this week?
Well, I'm dancing around it a bit, so shall we talk about Clair Obscur?
Ooh, let's end on that. I'll talk about another one that I've been playing, which I can now finally talk about. Fresh Tracks. Have you heard anything about this?
I haven't heard a damn thing, and I'm looking it up as we speak.
Okay. So let's see. 43, 49, keeping the things going for the person who edits the podcast, which is probably me. So Fresh Tracks is a rhythm game a la Beat Saber.
Oh, I love this. I'm looking at this and I already love it.
So basically what Fresh Tracks is what if you combined Beat Saber and Guitar Hero? And like, that's what it is. You're a skier.
Yeah, it's Beat Saber and Audio Surf. I say would be more accurate.
Oh, here. I haven't played that one. So yeah, that might be a more accurate thing. But yeah, so you are going, or like Thumper or whatever, where it's just like, you're going left and right along these like 3 or 4 tracks to avoid objects that you might collide with. You're also doing things like jumping over obstacles, which you can. You can also duck under obstacles. You can also lean, which you'll have to do for certain things, and then you can also like swipe to like cut down trees or whatever. So there is a bunch of that stuff. The music is great. The graphics are great. I've been playing it on my Steam Deck. It runs just beautifully. It is hard. This is like the hardest rhythm game that I've played like maybe ever, even on like default difficulty. It is really challenging. Like they are expecting you to do a lot of stuff. It's not like Guitar Hero where it's like, you play on the easiest difficulty and it's like trivially easy. No, like you're going to be leaning, you're going to be ducking, you're going to be jumping, you're going to be leaning after ducking and jumping, you know, you're going to be crouch leaning and stuff like that. And then like jumping and slicing down trees as you're waiting to crouch under the next thing. It's wild. It's wild, but it's really, really fun. You can also pick up like different skis or different things like that to modify kind of your stats. You've got like different healing pickups that you can do. You'll get like your rhythm bonuses as you continue to do different things. It's also like you can choose to go like left or right in the path, which will be like, oh, you go left path and it'll be, this one will be easy. You go right path, it'll be like moderate difficulty, but it'll be focused on this part of playing, like, or you'll get this bonus from going this way. Yeah, it's really fun, and it's all couched in like this kind of Nordic mythology of you know, this person who's trying to kind of free other people from like the tyranny of the malign gods. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's very interesting. It's hard, which has kind of been like, as I've been, you know, cooking and doing laundry and like all the stuff that I have to do for the new baby. Like I put it down for a little bit so that I can like finish up some other stuff so I can like just focus on it. Cause I feel like if I take any break from this game, I am just going to get trounced. But yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. I also know some people who saw it at PAX, who have also had fun with it, but yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, no, I haven't played this myself, but it's just one look at it and I'm like, oh yeah, this is right up my alley. So there's a lot of really good like rhythm game plus X games out there, and it's just like it just adds that extra layer of spice to it. And yeah, like games like obviously Audio Surf I mentioned, which is way back in the day, but also stuff like, you know, Bullets Per Minute or Metal Hellsinger, things like that. And of course Beat Saber. Just this shit is fun. I like these things.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
So Fresh Tracks. I will definitely.
Yeah.
I've already wishlisted it, so I will keep an eye on it.
Real, real good. And like honestly, we don't get a ton in the rhythm genre. Like there's been kind of like you said with Metal Hellsinger and stuff like that. Like there's been some wrinkles on that lately. But it's one of those genres that like kind of, unless you're looking at, you know, there was a couple that I played like a few years ago, like Muse Dash and other stuff like that. Like there are some like very niche ones that get released, but of this production value and this like this visual fidelity and all that sort of stuff, like this is definitely something you should jump on if this is what you like.
Yeah, they tend to be fairly low key or, you know, mostly relegated to indie games these days.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's cool. I dig it.
All right. Unless you've got something else, let's hit the big one.
Do I have anything else? Nothing I'm really ready to talk about at great length.
Yeah.
So, Clair Obscur, Expedition 33. I probably pronounced that horribly wrong. I'm not French. My apology.
You should apologize for not being French.
You know what? I'm not going to apologize for not being French. The French should apologize for being French. No, I'm not Thibaut. I'm not going down that angle. No. But my God, this is like the most French game that has ever existed, right?
Yeah. There's like mime super bosses.
Yeah, just challenging, you know, difficulty encounters, which are just mimes. And it's like, and when you beat them, you get costumes that are called baguette. which have you dress up as the mimes with berets and glasses and friggin' baguettes. It's like,
Fantastic.
I would say this would be making fun of the French if it wasn't made by the French. It's
Yes.
kind of ridiculous.
It's like people were using
but,
JRPG as a slur, and it's like, no, we liked that. It's like, no, this is an FRPG. This is a French role playing game.
No,
Complete
the best
baguette.
one of that I saw. The best one I saw that was the JRPG.
Oh,
J
that's pretty good.
RPG. I'm like, yeah,
I
nice.
like that a
Very
lot.
clever.
I like that a lot. Anyways,
But yeah,
I'm like 6 hours into this game. I love it. I took a break because I brought another human into this planet. But yeah, I'm gonna be going back to it real soon.
highly recommend
tell
it because
me-
I finished
tell
it.
me about
and
it. Oh, you
basically-
finished it. Okay.
Yes. So I finished because it basically consumed me. Like once I got started, I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Dig this opening, dig this start. And then I completed Act 1 and went into Act 2. And this is a moment that everyone will speak of, and I don't believe you're there yet.
No, I don't think I've gotten like an Act 2 break or anything like that now.
You would probably know if you had gotten there because things happen.
I have 3 people in my party, and I just found the door that goes to the manor, and then I'm going and doing the thing after that.
Yeah, you got abducted by an Art Deco house.
Yeah.
Yeah, love that. That's a very cool manor. I love the aesthetics of that.
Yeah.
But I would live in that place. But yeah, so I have gone through the entire game at this point. There is side content I did not end up doing because so Act 3, once you get there, is basically just, it's like it establishes all the plot and everything and says you can go there and finish it right now, or you can go do whatever the fuck else you want. And all the side content opens up. You get freedom of, map movement and everything like that. Whole bunch of, side quests. So it's basically the second half of Final Fantasy VI, for those who know.
Gotcha.
It just opens up like that. So what I did for that is I did most of the ones that were associated with character quests. And then rather than doing all the big high-end stuff or whatever, I'm like, cool, I'm now probably so powerful I'm going to trivialize the final boss. So I want to at least go so there's potentially a modicum of challenge in that last area. And so I finished it from there. I was right. I trivialized the final boss. Oh well. There are some bosses I can go back to if I really want to.
I feel like, did you tell me that before? Because if not, I feel like I've heard that from one other person. It might have been
I can't remember if I did.
Yeah.
Might have been me, but it's a common sentiment. Like most of the people I spoke to did similar. Like any amount of extra side content that you do in Act 3, especially over the ones that are just like character adjacent quests, will get you very powerful very quickly. And I think they had to tune that part of it, like assuming that you are invested in the story, and so you're going to immediately want to go and continue. And fair enough, I wanted to continue.
I would much rather it be that than the alternative. If people want to golden path the story, they should be able to do that without being punished. So I
probably can.
Yeah, I highly I highly laud them for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Make the optional stuff optional, and if it means you end up trivializing the last story stuff, well,
so be it.
That's the joy of it.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can increase the difficulty whenever you want, right?
You can, yeah. You can swap it to expert.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But and like even on that, like if the incoming damage is still very high, so it's like you will learn these patterns and you will learn how to dodge and parry, or you will probably not proceed very comfortably.
Yeah.
So that becomes increasingly true as you go through the game, and the combos and shit that the enemies will perform and the amount of hang time they have puts Elden Ring to shame. Like they will hit you with mix-ups and all sorts of tricky shit. It's great. It's hard, but it's great.
Yeah.
Because when you land it, when you get that parry chain, when you Daigo Umahara that shit, you feel like a god.
I'm gonna Daigo Umahara the Paintress.
100% though, like, whoa, great shit. Absolutely great. But so tell me, what do you think of the general opening and story and such from what you've experienced before I go into further stuff?
So I think it's fantastic. One of the things that I like about this game is that I feel like it hits on all fronts. The visuals are really, really impressive, really striking. More so than the visuals, the visual design, like the environment design. Whoever was the art person doing concept for this game, it like needs a raise. Like I don't know how much they made, but however much it was not enough because going from just the first area to, the second area to like the coral area is just like, whoa, this is really
This is
cool.
so fucking cool.
Yeah. I love it. The enemy design, when you come upon those like big lumbering giants and they're like, don't go near those. I was just like, this has like, I overuse it because I'm a big Lovecraft fan, but like it is very eldritch, very bizarre. Like things that you will see in this world are just like, what the fuck is that? It's a ghost holding a mine, like as a balloon. Like it's very bizarre and weird in like the most like engrossing way. I love it. The voice acting is incredible.
All cognizant with the areas as well.
It's all, it's all of a piece,
it's like excellent.
Which is fantastic. And it's all like the great thing is like, it actually is kind of evocative to me of the way that in Dishonored, and this is going to be like a weird cut for people who haven't played Dishonored. They talk about like,
I know where you're going,
the Savage Coast, and they talk about all the crazy stuff that exists there, but you never go there. And this is what that feels like. It's like, what if you actually went there and saw all this unhinged nonsense? Or like when you go into, and this might be, I don't know if you saw that as being where I was going, or if you were like, oh, if you go to the place where the outsider lives and there's like whales flying all over the place and all this sort of stuff. There's a lot of,
well, it's not even just the fact that everything in Dishonored is like, they built the art style before they built the game almost, and everything abides by it.
Yeah. Everything follows the rules of the visual design of the universe. And I think that is such a great way to design. Like, I was actually talking about on an episode of Talk a Good Game with the one of the heads of Deku Deals, Andrew Wolf. I was talking about like how I really enjoy how Caves of Qud and Loop Hero and like Noita or like these other games have these retro aesthetics, and they're very crunchy, but they also feel like very of a piece, and they're like they kind of embrace constraint in a way that old video games did because it was necessary. Where like if you were designing something for an early computer or like the NES, like you didn't have that much bandwidth or that much memory to deal with. And so that made people be more creative with how they made their games function and what functionality that they could offer to the player. And I feel like going visual design first and having everything fit into that does that same constraint, but for your world building and for your story beats and different things like that. And also if there's like a mechanic that doesn't feel like it fits within that world realistically, even as bizarre as the world of Clair Obscur is, it kind of like you have to leave it out. And I like that. It makes it like with the Persona games, it makes this game feel like nothing else. And I feel like that is so much to its credit. Because like so many developers and publishers are risk averse. They don't want to try like a new huge swing on like weird, like French Art Deco, borderline, like, Renaissance / Industrial Revolution, like design combined with steampunk, combined with like eldritch horror, combined with like, I don't like almost Hunger Games, like dark fantasy, it's just, it's hitting on all of these very, very bizarre and disparate things at the same time, but nothing really feels out of place.
Yeah.
I guess conversely, it all feels out of place. Like your characters all feel like fish out of water, but it works because they all know that.
They
I
know
don't
that, and they're acting on it in their own way.
Yeah.
And yeah.
You can really feel and read in the acting that they are up against it and that they are doing everything they can. And yeah, I feel like the writing is excellent. The acting is excellent. The mechanics are excellent. There's, rhythm mechanics a la, Legend of Dragoon and Paper Mario and, all these other things. You can also, like, I was talking to somebody and just like, yeah, if you're really good at defending in this game and dodging and parrying, like, you can just take no damage, which, like, I can't remember playing a party-based RPG where that's true. Where it's just like,
I fully foresee solo no hit runs in the future.
There have already been no parry, no dodge runs. Like, somebody did a run
That's
never
impressive.
Parrying, never dodging, and they just tanked their way through it.
I figured that'd be the hardest thing to do of all of those, honestly. Like, especially later on, like the tuning on some of those gets pretty rough. So,
yeah, but yeah, I love it.
Very impressive.
I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I hope you get to go back to it soon because you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, I definitely will. Of the games that I'm playing, that is definitely the one that I'm going back to soonest after I finish Doom 2, because I've been playing through like Doom 1 plus Doom 2. And I don't remember ever beating either of these games. And so just in my time, in my downtime, in between taking care of my wife and the baby, instead of playing more Balatro, I've just been working my way through Doom, which has been really, really fun.
They hold up. Anyone who says those games don't hold up is a fucking liar.
Yeah, there are definitely some missions where I'm just like, bro, where the fuck am I supposed to go?
Oh, it's labyrinthine. Like, that is completely true. And some of those are, less great than others, but like, by and large,
I think I'm on like level 26 or 30 or something like that in Doom 2. And I think over Doom 1 and Doom 2, I've only had to look up 2 level playthroughs to figure out like where the hell I was supposed to go. And that's it. But one thing I really like is that there are built-in cheats to the game, which I adore. So you can just be like, yeah, give me all the keys. I don't care. I want to skip this one. Or give me all the weapons. Or give me God mode. It's just more games need to do that. Like, and not just like old ports, but like just give me the keys to the kingdom and let me just do whatever I want.
Yeah. Sorry, this level ain't very good. I'm not having fun. Let me proceed, please.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Clair Obscur. And I don't know what else you've got about it. What else you want to say? Because I know that we will probably...
I could talk so much.
I think we should probably do like a Skybox talk about that, maybe.
Because we can do that.
Because we can do that. So we could do an episode on Beyond the Skybox for everybody after we've all beaten Clair Obscur. That would be fun.
I know Will said this one was deserving of a deep dive because he finished it first because he reviewed it for Shack News, which you can check out. It's a good review. I read it after I was done. And I am 100% in favor of that because I'm just going to say it now. This is my game of the year. Like, anything else is up against this, and they have a hard act to follow. Very, very hard act to follow.
Nice.
That doesn't mean it won't happen. Like 1000 X Resist last year kind of crept in right at the end, but hard act.
Which is so funny because last year I was just like, everybody was like, oh yeah, this game is incredible. This game is incredible. And me over here having beaten 1000 X Resist, I was like, I don't know, guys. I don't know, fam. Like, you should probably play 1000 X Resist.
And then I did, and I'm like, fuck, he's right. Shout out to mouthwashing, but fuck, he's right.
Yeah. God, man, last year was a good year for games. This year, also a good year for games.
So far, looking pretty good.
Yep.
But yeah, that's this is the one to beat, and I think everybody knows it and everybody accepts it, and like the acclaim and the sales for it has only gotten higher as people go on. And I've only heard one person actually speak out heavily against it, and well, he's German, so he might just be racist. Self-admission. By the way. It's yeah.
Very silly.
But even just, I don't know how much I should do. Like, I obviously won't go into details for stuff you haven't played, but like that opening, that opening section really hooked me.
It's really great. And even like after like when you after the boat ride, when you get to the shore, like that was like, wait, what? Like it's
Yeah,
really
it's like,
great.
oh, you set this. Oh God, what is going? Oh no.
And then in the aftermath of that, it's just like, and then you stumble upon some things in the environment. It's like, oh my God, what? Like, what is happening here? Yeah. Oh, I love it.
And just very, oh yeah. But I think the opening set expectations accordingly, because especially how the writing goes, because yeah, like it is very poignant opening sequence, because it's like, yeah, it is right on the event where the number is about to tick down and a whole bunch of people are about to just blink out of existence, just get Thanos snapped.
Yeah.
And they know it. And this is like their send off, their goodbye, their finale.
Yeah.
And there's so much that is both said, but also tactfully left unsaid.
Yeah.
And this is why I think the dialogue in this is excellent, because so many of these conversations and how they're handled feel real.
Yeah.
They feel believable. There's just the right amount of hesitation, or I don't need to say this out loud, because you can glean it from body language or context clues or whatever. It is not afraid to be subtle, but then it also is willing to explore, just in that opening, it's like, so what does the society look like for a place where this happens every year? And they explore, it's like, what are all these people doing? How are people spending what is literally their last day alive?
Yeah.
And it's like, some are, racing around to prepare for a future for their kids. Some are just getting completely drunk and miserable. Some are just getting laid.
Yeah.
And others are just, pondering the what ifs and missed opportunities and whatever. And it's like,
and what does that do to the people who are left? Like, some people are doubling down on like, we have to stop this. Some people are just resigned to like just the nihilistic end. And it's just,
you only get a couple more attempts at this before it just becomes untenable.
Yeah.
Where people just aren't old enough. They do not live old enough to get the skills needed to try and challenge this.
Yeah.
It's wild, and it's really interesting.
It's really good. And the way that it's like when you're crafting an argument, you need to craft the argument, then you need to think of the people who will be opposed to that argument, and you need to address their concerns and their issues with it. And it feels like that's what the developers and the writing team did here. It's like, okay, the main character wants to fight this, but what about the people who are on the other side? We need to represent them. And they do that well. And then they represent the counter to that. And then they represent the counter to the counter to that. And it's like, it feels
and no one is
like
necessarily right or wrong.
World.
It's just,
everyone is convinced of their own. Well, not everyone. That's the great part. Some people are like, this is how I feel, but I don't know if I'm right. Like even in that intro, it's just like, what can we even do? And then like, you can try to encourage them and they'll be like, all right, like I'll try to fight this, but man, I don't know that we can. And it's like, yeah, I get it. It seems hopeless. This has been going on for a really long time and nobody's been able to stop it.
Yeah. What makes you think Expedition 33 is going to do it when the other 67 haven't? Like, all stuff like that. And and there are great conversations. I don't know if you've seen them yet, but just where, lead character Gustav just kind of loses faith and just has moments where,
Yeah, I've seen one of those where he had a conversation with Lune where he just kind of like...
That's probably the one I'm thinking. It's like, where she's like, do you not care about the mission? And he just can't give an answer.
Yeah.
And things like that. And I fucking love the dialogue in this game. Like, so much of it feels real and natural and well realized. And that continues throughout the entire game, no matter how big the stakes get, no matter how personal it gets. And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good, man. This is the kind of game I wish I would have written. That's the kind of thing. Just
And like Will said,
and it continues that way.
And like Will said, it is a game where it does not explain every little thing. It expects the reader to like intuit what is going on, to infer what is happening.
Yeah.
And to kind
And
of
even as more
understand.
details come in, it's still just like, yeah, no, we don't need to go into all of this.
Yes.
You can
Which is
glean what you
great.
need. Yeah.
The audience is intelligent. I don't care what anyone says. The audience is smart. You don't need to spell everything out. That really dumbs things down, and it paints yourself into a corner if you ever do a sequel and you want to take
Paints.
like, yeah, well, there you go. I'm glad you liked that one. But yeah, it paints you into a corner that you don't need to be in. Like, you don't have to do this. Give people the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Souls is so great because they give you like 60 to 70% of the story, and you have to figure out the rest.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes it more
And
personal.
there's no clear answers.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how many videos VaatiVidya makes about it. There's
It's
no clear
true.
answers.
It's
It's just, interpretive.
Shout out to VaatiVidya, and to my friend who writes for him. There you go.
Yeah, nice.
Actually, former
But,
guest host of this show, Hannah Houlihan.
Neat.
Hell yeah.
That's awesome. But yeah, and
I don't know if you knew
again,
if we were 2 degrees of Kevin Bacon away from VaatiVidya, but there you go.
we might have been. There you go. But yeah, there's so much I could and will one day talk about for this game. But one more thing I need to leave off on is, holy fuck the music. Holy fuck the music.
Really good. Really, really good.
Like they found this guy, like the director just happened to find this guy on SoundCloud and offered him a job, right? And he'd never really done, video, like he'd done video game music style stuff, but he hadn't actually composed for a game before, I don't believe. So first time. And then he's just like, I'm just going to go above and beyond. I'm just going to have like a new battle theme for every area. I'm going to have like 4 variations of that battle theme throughout that area. I'm going to have different, just versions and melodies and dynamic parts of it. It goes like, I have not been this enamored with a soundtrack since I was for Nier Automata, which does a similar kind of thing. And many of these sounds and songs I was listening to, I'm like, man, this sounds like it could have just come off the Nier Automata soundtrack, and I love it. I love it. It's so good. Like, I could gush about this game endlessly.
It's really,
Play
really
Obscure
good.
for Expedition 33. It's my game of the year so far, and good luck. Best of luck to anyone attempting to dethrone it. You're gonna need it.
Yeah, you're gonna need that love.
You're gonna fucking need it.
Yeah. Pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, and then the delay to GTA 6 happened out of this year, and everyone's like, we're in with a chance!
Yep. I was just gonna comment on that, because it's just like, well, you're not gonna beat this, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And frankly, I don't even think GTA 6 would have beaten it, but
but people
GTA 6...
Yeah. People like to glaze Grand Theft Auto.
They do.
To be frank.
Yeah. But that's it's just one of those things. Like, that game broke containment. Like, that series has broken containment beyond anything else. And it's just like, yep, that's fine. People are gonna love it. Is it the best game that came out this year? Probably not. Is it the best game that came out of that year when GTA 5 came out? Probably not. But doesn't mean they're bad. But a hell of a lot of people who don't play that many games or don't dig deep like we do, looked into it and thought about it, and it's like, yeah. Not to shit on GTA.
No,
I like GTA, but
and I like that they got a lady main character this time. It's cool.
Absolutely.
I dig it.
And boy, is that game gonna, like, as Will loves to say, is like, that game looks expensive.
Yes,
and it is expensive. Like, you can see the money oozing off every goddamn pixel.
You can see in every screenshot, you can see how many people missed their kids' birthdays in Little League games.
That's the one. That's depressing. And yet,
it is. But we don't know
things we do for horse testicles.
But it's true. That's true. The things we do for horse testicles. I feel like that's as good of a place as any to end it.
Yeah, I think we should wrap it up there.
Anyways, I have been your host, Brian Barnett. Thank you so much for joining me for episode 346 of The Platformers. If you like what we do, like it, give us a review. You can follow us on social media. You can find me on Blue Sky and Backlogged at Brian Barnett, and Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Ribnax, RIBNAX. You can also find me at skyboxcritics.bluesky.social on Blue Sky, where I've been posting the different pieces that have gone up on Blue Sky. You can also check out skyboxcritics.com, where I have, I've got a column that went up about me falling in love with Monster Hunter Wilds. We've got Chris's pieces on Like a Dragon and Balatro. We've got a piece from Thomas up about how you should play something new while you still can tomorrow at noon Eastern time. There's going to be a lot of great stuff going on at skyboxcritics.com. And you can check out Beyond the Skybox, which is the Skybox podcast, where I sit down with people like Chris to talk about their pieces and all the stuff that go into it. Chris and I talked about being neurodivergent and the different things that kind of make games resonate with us, and how Balatro kind of speaks to that. I talked to Lucas about his review of Star Ocean, Another Story R, and about what we kind of expect and want from ports and remakes nowadays, and kind of what the optimal format for that is, and kind of where that fits into the kind of gaming sphere as a whole. A lot of good stuff coming out there, and keep your eyes peeled to that Blue Sky account for all the latest, because we got more stuff coming this week, and it's not just more pieces. We got more ways for you to be involved with the Skybox community. So anyways, thank you very much for people who have already checked out the site. Please go check it out. It is a labor of love and a passion project for us and the a lot of people in the industry as a whole. But thank you for that. Chris, where can everybody find you?
Hi, you can, I'm Chris Cornelise. I go around the internet as Delphia. You can finally, at last, see some of my latest writing over on Skybox, as already associated and mentioned by Mr. Brian here. Again, the Balatro and the Like a Dragon piece, and the associated podcast for the Balatro piece, all pretty good, I would say. Biased, very biased, of course. You can find my personal website at versusthebacklog.com. That's vsthebacklog.com, one word. I also now have a Blue Sky, which I made basically just for Skybox purposes, and probably won't be too active on it, but it's there. That is at Chris Cornelise.
He's got one.
Yep.
This is news to me as well as you, dear listener.
Yeah, again, like Will asked me to do it. It's like, can you do that for promotional purposes? So I'm like, cool, I did that yesterday. So nice. I have only followed Will on it currently, but it is there.
Nice.
You will know it's me if you see a picture of my dearly departed puppy.
Oh.
And yeah.
R.I.P. in peace.
Memorialize him. Truly. But yeah, that's where you can find me. And otherwise, I'm usually here.
Yeah.
But you'll see more and more of my Skybox writing coming up soon, hopefully.
Yep. From everybody here at the Platformers, we hope you have a wonderful week and stay safe out there. Because until next time, we are out.
Goodbye.